It felt like I was really alone. To say depressed would be like an understatement. You just really feel like you're stuck, you drowning. I didn't feel like I cared about myself all that much. Well, for me, unfortunately, the light bulb moment was when I ended up in hospital after, one night I just kind of took out all my frustrations out of myself.
When I was in year 10, my parents split up and it impacted me more than I thought it would. I stopped caring about my schoolwork, which I was really passionate about, and stopped hanging out with my friends as much. I was eventually diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and then I started to seek help.
For me, the real turning moment was, when they stabilised you and you're sitting there, and, like, my parents came in to try kind of explain to them why I would do something like that. That for me was the moment I knew that I needed to kind of get myself right. I needed to get help.
At first I was a bit reluctant to accept help because I didn't really want to accept that I wasn't okay. But once I did, it was a huge relief to share that burden with someone else. And yeah, just know that other people did care and that they were there for me. And I previously hadn't realised that.
I'd spent a couple of months working really hard to, get sober, get off the drugs I was taking, and kind of work with my psychiatrist and my psychologist to kind of get a real, decent plan in place if anything goes wrong. And then after that, I kind of felt that I really wanted to give something back.
Being Heard is a 2-day workshop where we provide a safe environment for young people between 18 to 30 years old to learn how to give a voice to their stories of mental ill health and how they were able to reach out for support. Guys, I'd love to have a chat about why we think it's important to share our own stories. Sharing personal stories is a really important way to help empower people to understand that they aren't alone and that their experiences doesn't actually define them. And it's a way to really feel liberated and to understand that every story matters.
You're in a room with other people who have been through very similar things to what you've experienced yourself. So there's that overwhelming sense of you're not alone, which was awesome. And I guess I look back and reflect, and I've spoken to thousands of young people, and that's a pretty cool thing, and that's helped me immensely in my journey. You're giving back, and you're sharing your story in a way to kind of empower others, which I think is pretty cool.
Going through the Being Heard program sort of gave me the courage and I guess confidence to share my story and be open about the things that I've been through. And before that point, I hadn't really spoken to anyone about my experiences, but now I sort of can't imagine not being open about it.
My motivation for sharing my story and doing Being Heard was that I hadn't really been able to share my story with anyone very close to me. So once I did the workshop and realised that it was actually a powerful story and that other people could benefit from it, I joined the speaking program and got involved that way.
Whether you become a speaker or not, it's you can share it with your family, you kind of learn how to get your story across. So many times you kind of like, I feel like this, but how do I say it? And just hearing other people sharing their stories, you're kind of like, yeah, no, that's exactly how I felt.
Does anybody else feel that fear of being judged as well?
Yeah, I just want to kind of know how to say what I want to say correctly and how to do it in front of my friends and family. Sharing my story amongst close friends and family definitely helps because you can just be yourself around them. You don't have to feel like you're covering up anything or you're hiding anything. Once you share your story, it's all out in the open, and you can just be yourself. You don't have to worry about anything.
It's honestly the best thing I've done in my life. I've shared my story countless times, like I can't even remember how many times. And I've seen some pretty special impacts I've had on so many people, and it constantly makes me feel like I'm doing something really worthwhile. I
really hope more people start to feel that they can share and that they do share, and that we spread that message and break the stigma.
Through every single story being told through our Being Heard workshop, it's impacting thousands of young Australians around the country hearing these positive messages, knowing that help is out there, and because of that, we want to see even more young Australians get involved to be part of this amazing story.